This is section 10.3. This is part 3 of section 10.3. And today we're going to be able to write the equation of a circle in standard form. Okay, now a couple things that we're going to have to look at in terms of some practice stuff is we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to look at how we complete the square. Now we did this in the first unit, and it's been a little while since we've done it, so I want to kind of go through some review here of how to complete the square. Okay, so first step here, again, that we want to do is we want to take b divided by 2 and square it. Okay, take b divided by 2 and square it. And what I would suggest that you do, since this isn't on your notes, is I would suggest that you just write this on the very back page. Okay, write this on the very back page of your note packet. Okay, so we're going to take b over 2, we're going to square it. Then we're going to add that to the binomial. Okay, we're going to add it to the binomial. And if you have an equal sign, we're also going to add it to the other side of the equal sign as well. Okay, because we got to keep things balanced. And then once you've taken b over 2 squared and added it in to both sides of the equal sign, then we're going to factor the trinomial. Okay, going to factor the trinomial to a binomial square. Okay, for example, let's take a quick example here. Let's say I had x squared plus 6x. Okay, so in this case right now, I have the case where I have b, in this case, is the number 6. So b over 2 squared is 6 over 2 squared, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, and squared is 9. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a 9 to this part of the expression. Now if there was an equal sign, okay, if there happened to be an equal sign there, I would add it to the left side and to the right side. Okay, but now I want to factor this trinomial. I need to find factors of 9 that add to 6. This would be x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. Okay, got to jog the memory a little bit on how to factor. Put parentheses around the first two and the last two terms. This becomes, take out an x, I have an x plus 3 left over. Take out a 3, I have an x plus 3 left over. They have an x plus 3 in common in the parentheses. Outside the parentheses, they have an x plus 3. And you'll notice these two in the parentheses are going to be the exact same on every time you do this. Okay, so this is going to end up being x plus 3 squared. Now, the other way that we did that was this. We also said that we could do it this way. Okay, we said we had x squared plus 6x, and we put in a 3 squared rather than a 9. You can do that as well. Because remember our shortcut, we said we're going to take this value, the x value, this number is going to go here, put down whatever symbol is inside the parentheses, okay, and then these guys squared. And then you'll notice it's the exact same thing. So that was the shortcut that we did with that. Okay, so that's kind of a little jog the memory of complete the square. You're going to need to use that in order to write these equations. Okay, so let's take a look back at your fourth. Okay, so as we look here, how to write the equation in standard form. Okay, we need to put the equation in standard form first of all. We've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That's standard form of a circle. Okay, so first we're going to put the x values and the y values together. Then you'll need to complete the square of each trinomial, and then you will have two binomials there. Okay, and then you're going to make sure whatever you do on one side of the equation, you do it to both. All right, so let's take a look now at this first example here. We've got x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 10y. First thing I want to do is I want to put all my terms that are the same letter together. So I'm going to take x squared and put it with plus 8x. And I'm going to leave a space there. And then I'm going to put y squared with minus 10y. And then I'm going to leave a space there. I'm going to put an equal 8. Okay? So now what I have to do now is I have to complete the square of each part here. Each of these two. Okay, so I'm going to complete the square twice. All right, so in this case here, b is equal to 8. So 8 divided by 2 squared is 4 squared. So I'm going to have x squared plus 8x plus 4 squared. Over here, b is negative 10. So I've got negative 10 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 5 squared. So over here, I'm going to write this as plus y squared minus 10y plus negative 5 squared. And then I'm going to bring down my equals 8. Okay, so now as you look at this, you have two trinomials. And the nice thing about completing the square is these two trinomials are easy to factor. So I'm going to take down again, this is going to end up, I'm going to do the shortcut here, this value and this value. So I've got an x and I've got a 4, and that's a plus squared. Plus, again, this value is going to come down here. This value is going to come down here. A y and a minus 5 squared. Now, one thing that we got to make sure we do, we got to make sure whatever we added to the left side, we do it to the right side. So I'm missing some things over here on the right. 4 squared is 16, and negative 5 squared is 25. So essentially, I've added 16 here and 25 here. Well, 16 and 25 is 41. If I add 41 to the left, I have to add 41 to the right. So now this becomes now 49, not 8 anymore. Okay? So now, as you look at this equation, this is the standard form of a circle. The center is negative 4, 5, and the radius is 7. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this last example now. I'm going to do the same type of thing with this one. Again, I got to take my x's, get them together, x squared minus 6x, and then my y's together, y squared plus 14y, and it's going to equal 8. Again, here, b is negative 6. Okay, b is negative 6. And over here, b is 14. So I'm going to take negative 6 divided by 2 and square it. So I end up with negative 3 squared, which ends up being 9. Over here, I'm going to take negative 14, square it, which is negative 7 squared, which is 49. Okay, so again, I've got x squared minus 6x plus negative 3 squared. This part's going to go right here. Plus a y squared plus 14y and plus negative 7 squared equals. It equals 8. Okay, but again, I added 9 and 49 to the left side. That's a total of 58. I have to add it to the right side. Okay. Again, I got to break this down. X goes here, negative 3 and squared, plus y goes here, negative 7 squared, and it's going to equal 58, and 8 is 66. This right here is the standard form of my circle. Center is at 3. And negative 7. Again, this is a plus 7 because it's positive 14. So this should be positive up here. Okay. Center's at 3 and negative 7. And my radius, since 66 is not a perfect square, okay, since 66 is not a perfect square, I'm going to take the square root of 66. Okay. So now you can write the equation of a circle in standard form, okay, given this information. All right, this concludes section 10.3, part 3. We talked about completing the square and writing the equation of a circle in standard form.